Hello and welcome to all you May people to another colour reading from Karen's Colours. This time it's for July 2026. Now, if you've been here before, then you know what to expect. I'm Dr. Karen and I give general colour readings for each of you to see how your next month will develop. If you haven't been here before, well, then you probably find this a little unusual, but find yourself extremely welcome all the same. June was a bit of a mixed bag for most of us, and if you had a little bit of a problem, then I hope that by the end of the month it has sorted itself out. Certainly, July offers us another start to a different month, and as a general reading, take what resonates and please leave aside what doesn't. You might even like to come back towards the end of the month to see just how it fared for you. So let's begin then, shall we? Now, before I begin, this month we're going to be taking one of the oracles from the Treasures of Takashi. Anticipation. Anticipation creates a feeling of excitement. Hold that feeling of anticipation as you embark on your next course of action. Unusual occurrences may not be anticipated, but don't waste any time worrying either. Let go of expectations. They only take you out of the now moment. When you anticipate, you can enjoy the fun of the whole journey right here and now. Very well, let's look at some colours for people born in May to see how their July 2026 will function. And our strength is pink over blue. The obstacle to be overcome is blue over pink. And the underlying energy is yellow on purple. What an interesting combination. Certainly, having reversals is possible. It's just not very common. And to have one as the obstacle and one as the strength is very interesting. Let's have a look at what we're dealing with here. The strength, pink over blue. The pink represents what you're actually doing in the real world because it's in the top of the circle and it's driven by the motivation or driver or goal or whatever it is that it inspires you, that is seen by the blue in the bottom of the circle. Now, the blue actually represents duty, responsibility, things that need to be dealt with. It's the shut up, do as you're told, get on with the job, don't complain drive. It's like there are things that you need to pay attention to and you have no choice about it. In the real world, what you're doing is you are creating a circumstance in which others have to come to assist you because you don't have the energy or you are perceived as not having energy. There is a need here for being nurtured, being looked after. You have these things that you need to have done, and in the real world, there's no energy for it, so others come to your rescue, if you like. That is the strength. Its reverse is the obstacle. That is, inside yourself, you've run out of energy entirely. There is a need, a drive, a motivation towards finding something that will help you to find love. Pink is about love and compassion. In the real world, however, all you find is more tasks, more jobs, more responsibility, more duty, more things that you need to accomplish. And so this lack of energy, this lack of being able to find people to assist continues through as you doing more and more work. Could also be that you're pushing people away. It's an incredibly odd way of doing things for you May people. All right, the underlying energy then is an interesting one because we have yellow over purple. Now, purple is all about healing, about getting things better, being able to fix things that are broken, but it's also about destroying them in the first place. There is never a need for repair until something is broken, and purple represents both the breaking and the repairing of stuff. But as an internal driver, it's a need for healing. It's a need for spiritual healing, for using your imagination to do what? Well, in the real world, it's deal with experience. Yellow is all about memory. It's about learning. It's about being able to deal with the real world the way in which it presents itself. Now, together, these two, the yellow and purple, when we mix them into a single color, becomes brown. Brown is the color associated with ambitions, goals, practical skills, getting on with doing something that you have long wanted to achieve. It's getting your desires under control and headed in a specific direction. But yellow on purple also has to do with insecurity. It has to do with the fight between imagination and practical reality, the difference between being able to fix something and at the same time realizing that you don't have the skills that are necessary. So this becomes a bit of a conundrum itself as an underlying energy. Now, when we put these together, let's have a look at what we end up with. Well, for a start, we have pink and blue. And then there is yellow, yellow and purple. And then we have blue, the pink. All right. Now, I think you can probably see where we're going with this. Even when we start to add the underlying energy into this reading of the difference between your strength and your obstacle, there is not a great deal of movement available to you. So let's look firstly at the strength and the underlying energy. We already know that the search for nurture, the search for doing your duty, for developing some sort of management skills in the real world has left you with a certain degree of weakness, which in turn attracts people to help. That is the strength. The underlying energy here is the imagination and the actual experience that comes with having a particular goal in mind, something that you need to deal with. Now, if we swap over the underlying drivers, then this is the situation that we come across. Now we have pink over purple. Now, the pink over purple is, here we have the need to heal, the need to fix things, the need to make reparation, to make sure that things are going to make you feel as though you are whole. In the real world, still comes across as requiring some sort of assistance. But this combination also has to do with don't give up. It's a continual attempting to overcome whatever destructive issues have happened down here by, even though you haven't got the energy, trying again and again and again. This combination, the yellow on blue, on the other hand, is there is a need for being able to develop the sorts of skills that are necessary to help you understand and to deal with all of those responsibilities and duties that are inherent in your life. And in the real world, to be able to disseminate those, okay, yellow has to do with speaking as well as other things. There's a lot of talking taking place here, being able to disseminate that information because you have a lot of knowledge. And this combination here has to do with the teacher. It is one in which you understand and you are able to explain. So explanations of knowledge that is hidden in here. But yellow and blue also create the color green when they're mixed together. And as such, it gives you the opportunity to start off in a different direction, to start off anew. It's not something that is immediately obvious when we look at these combinations, but it is there hidden in that combination if you are able to recognize it and take advantage of it. Now, what happens when we deal with that same underlying energy, only this time we add it to the obstacle, remembering that the obstacle is simply an inversion of the strength. So whereas here we had do your duty and accept assistance, here it's you don't have the energy, and so you find yourself overworked and pretty well exhausted by it. Once again, swapping over the energies. And this time we have yellow over pink. Pink is the need or drive towards love, compassion, caring. You want something that will enable you to feel as though you are worthwhile, caring for the self. In the real world, you need to go out and experience it. You actually need to learn how to do the things that will allow yourself to be attractive, to allow yourself to experience those things so that you can feel as though people do care and have compassion for you. The blue on purple, on the other hand, is interesting because if you mix those two colors together, you end up with a color that is so close to black, it's almost impossible to tell. And that combination has to do with total spiritual development or spiritual energy. The purple internally is the striving towards some sort of spiritual release. In the real world, however, you're the one that's actually dissipating that because you're doing spiritual work without necessarily feeding back to yourself. And this is the obstacle. The fact that you can't find love because you're not game enough to experience it. And at the same time, you can't seem to find the spiritual, imaginative ability that is necessary for you to feel as though you are succeeding in doing everything that is necessary for you to teach, which of course was inherent here, but also to understand that life isn't all just hard work, that there are other things that can be enjoyed. There's no enjoyment in here. The yellow has the potential for it, and it certainly does have a little bit of ability here, because basically I think when you're in a situation when you are teaching other people things, that is extremely enjoyable for you. But it's also a case of lacking that enjoyment, lacking that fun element that occurs here. This is going to be a difficult month for you, May people. Let's have a look at what the missing colours will offer us. There's no black. There's no white. There's no red. There's no green. There's no brown. There's no orange. There's no grey. And there is no cyan. You have an extremely limited number of skills available to you throughout July. And these 8 skills, represented by the missing colors, are the ones that hold the key towards changing this to something better for you. It depends on what you want to choose. Black is about withdrawal, taking time out, meditating if necessary, reconsidering your options. White is allowing the world to just throw things at you and dealing with them through a sense of curiosity, but also becoming enlightened as those things proceed. Red is the gathering together of your energy, becoming someone who can stand up and feel as though they've accomplished something. The amount of pink you've got here shows that, yes, there is a little bit of red, but it is so minuscule as to be virtually impossible to see. You need to do something that allows you to raise the passion level in your life. Green is about being able to recognize and take advantage of opportunities that come your way. What other options are there out there that you might like to get a hold of? Brown has to do with deciding what your goals are in life. What do you actually want to achieve, and how do you go about achieving those? Maybe you've been walking the wrong path. Maybe you need to reevaluate those goals or the options of what it is that you're doing to achieve them. Orange, although it's hidden here, nevertheless doesn't exist as a color in its own right. It's all about courage and confidence and being able to get out there in society and show what you are made of. Gray is being able to find that middle path between extremes, specifically the extremes of complete withdrawal or complete out there with everything in your face. Gray gives you the opportunity to find an alternative, to find some sort of compromise. Cyan has to do with bliss and harmony and being able to just be satisfied with whatever it is that is in your life at the time. No yearning, no need to be fighting for anything else, just simply allowing yourself to settle. So which of these 8 colors is the most appealing, and then which is the least appealing? And when you have chosen those 2 colors, incorporate them into your life. Because right now, July looks like it's going to be pretty limiting for you. Try to expand your repertoire and do it pretty soon. Well, if nothing else, July certainly seems to be becoming a very interesting month indeed. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed this reading and that you take away from it or from the treasure of Takashi something that will benefit you throughout the month of July. Until we meet again, may the colors of your life bring you all of the joy and happiness that you require for your own higher good. Catch you next time. Bye.